Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live, everyone. It is time for our triple play, when we take a look at three tickers that have been moving markets or catching our eye today. So I'm going to start with Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. Now, we did see that the stock rallied in early trading after announcing it's raising its monthly fee for its on-demand fitness content for the very first time, as well as cutting the price of some of its bikes. Its Bike Plus, and its tread machines are going to be dropping by about $200 to about $300 to $400. Now, a lot of this is in a bid to reach new customers. We did see that during the pandemic, this was one of those pandemic darlings. But as people started returning to work, perhaps some people like myself realizing a Peloton just really isn't in the cards for you, people started returning these bikes, selling these bikes. So Peloton was trying to find ways to make a little more money here. So they're now focusing on their services. And in a letter, the company said there's a cost to creating exceptional content and an engaging platform. So clearly much more focus on the service side. The stock is taking a hit today. It's down about 5% though. So really a mixed reaction here, and also seeing more interest in one of their investor activists saying, look, perhaps this is another signal that it might be time to sell if this isn't working.
There's much more to talk about on Peloton, but let's stay in the athleisure or the athletic space, if you will. And I say athleisure or the athletic space very specifically because Nike may not have necessarily the same type of connected device that Peloton does, but they certainly do have a ton in the apparel and footwear. We do know this for the behemoth that is Nike. And the reason I'm tracking shares here on the day, as they're up by about 5.25%, the JP Morgan analyst Matthew Boss says that the Nike geographical segment that accounts for China is on pace for, quote, sequential improvement. This after apparently speaking with some of the executives at Nike as well. Now, one of the challenges in the region, of course, has been variant spikes causing intermittent lockdowns and closures. It's important to note as well, 19% of apparel is produced in this region in China. And then on the Nike brand revenue side for fiscal 2021, you actually saw 19% of the revenue coming in from Greater China in that region too. And so it is amazingly imperative to also make sure that you're getting contributions both in production and in sales and seeing some sequential improvement there. So we'll see exactly what more is disclosed and how that continues to be factored in by investors, but no doubt moving higher on the day on this particular price target of $164, and then reaffirming the initiated or the current stance that he already had in the market as well on the rating.
Bit of a disconnect here. I mean, it's nice to hear the optimism. I'm always bullish on Nike. Love what they've done, evolving constantly and creating demand. They're like a collector's item now on your feet. But those lockdowns are far more severe than that makes it sound. We're talking about 45 cities. We're talking about hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of thousands currently in these isolation centers under one blanket, getting bread, people screaming out the window that they are starving. These lockdowns are harsh, they are spreading, and despite the rest of the world moving on, yesterday was the biggest number for COVID daily cases in China from the start of the pandemic. So it looks like it's going to get a lot worse there before it gets better. My play is a delicious one. W-I-N-G or Wingstop. Elon Musk is not the only one who can play around with the 420 references. The 1,500 unit chain today offering a 420 inspired limited edition wing flavor. It's called Blazed and Confused. It includes terpene, hemp seed, strawberry, and cayenne pepper. No actual THC nor CBD, said the chief growth officer, Marissa Corona. As the cannabis industry grows, so does Wingstop's desire to engage this audience. Blazed and Confused, available April 18th through the 22nd. As for the shares today, down about 5.8% or $6.50. They have been hammered this year to date, down 40%. 18 states and D.C. have legalized recreational marijuana, so it continues to spread, and New Jersey gets sales hopefully started in the recreational side next week. I guess for those Wingstop, you can burn those off on the Peloton. Rachelle, was that a response, do you think, to the criticism from the Blackwell chief investment officer that hammered the investment structure, that hammered the fact that John Foley remains as the chairman in supermajority stock, or was this already planned?
Well, it might be part of CEO Barry McCarthy, who's obviously been at the helm now just for a few months, so a little over 2 months. And we did know that they also announced Thursday that there will be some sweeping changes internally. So I think a lot of people wondering what exactly is going on with Peloton. And we know that they're also now testing things like this rental option with US markets. So they really are trying a bit of everything. I think that uncertainty and that unsettledness is really factoring into the share price. I mean, even though users can perhaps use this monthly fee, now $60 to $100 for a rented bike, when they had so much demand and couldn't keep up with supply during the pandemic, now they have the opposite problem. They're really trying to find their feet in a post-pandemic world as people return to work. A lot of people selling their bikes. For me, for example, I was like, this doesn't work for me, doesn't work for my lifestyle. I ended up returning it. And I'm not sure that I would even want to go back, even if I do just get to rent the bike and return it if it doesn't work. Some of us, now that we've had other options of returning to the gym, perhaps that's where we want to stay. I do think Peloton is going to have an uphill battle. It's down year to date and still struggling today, even with these announcements. So definitely still one to watch.
Sounds like Peloton needs a like new program here. Because at the end of the day, I think one thing, and I sent you guys the photo that I saw in my building today of a listing for somebody reselling their Peloton bike. I think when you have this many digital users and you are looking at how to continuously monetize them going forward, and it really does come down to converting them into a connected device. At what price point is the question? How can you continue to produce and ensure that there's going to be that demand that is essentially funneled through those digital subscriptions as of right now? And so with all of that in mind, that's a major question mark that Barry McCarthy still has to figure out. And it's still going to have to make its way through the other C-suite and the executive board as well.